UGRC 150, Critical Thinking and Practical Reasoning, Unit 2, Definitions. In Unit 1, we looked at definitions and we saw the parts of a definition, which is the definiendum and the definition. And we said that the definiendum is a word being defined, and the definition refers to the rest of the words that explains it. So we have this example: a triangle is a three-sided polygon. We have the triangle being the definiendum, and then a three-sided polygon forming the definition. Yeah. Also, a definition has two aspects: connotation and denotation. So connotation has to do with what? The meaning of what? A word. The features associated with what? A word. That is what? The connotation. So connotation is going to describe and explain. Now denotation is what? The particular example that fits what? The connotation. If you say a furniture we sit on, what will it fit? It will fit a chair. If you say the head of an institution, it will fit a chair. If you say a person who oversees the affairs of a meeting, it will fit to the chairperson, right? So denotation is what? The particular example that fits what? The connotation. So in this example, say you can see that what um different different what connotations are all denoting what? A chair. So a definition what? Connotes and what? Denotes. All right. Now we call something equivocation. So here some people are trying to what? Cheat the system. They want to persuade someone. They want to kind of like manipulate someone. So they are going to use the knowledge they have in what? In connotations. So this is what they do. They try to persuade somebody by using different what? Connotations of the same word in the same context. Then they're using different what? Connotations of a particular word without the signal of what? Without any signal that they are trying to change the topic or anything. But what? They are trying to what? Persuade the individual. Yeah, so if you look at this example, the employer is saying that what? We need responsible workers. Then the applicant is saying, in my previous company, anytime something went wrong, they said I was responsible. So I'm a very responsible worker. So the applicant is using what? Different what? Connotations in the same context, but trying to what? Persuade the what? Employer, trying to manipulate the employer. So the way the applicant is even saying it, you won't notice what? The signal of shift. You will notice that he's trying to shift from one topic to another, like in the same context, trying to what? Persuade what? The employer to accept him to work there. So using more than one connotation in the same context without any signal of shift in order to persuade or manipulate. So this one, if you don't listen very well to the applicant, you just say, oh yeah, then he's responsible, then quickly you hire him. Then he'll come and mess up your company for you. So we call this what? Equivocation. Okay, now we proceed with what? The types of what? Definitions. We have many types of definitions. So let's see. Let's look at them one by one. So we have lexical definition. A definition is said to be lexical if it is what? Taken from what? The dictionary. Dictionary. Yeah, some of you call it dictionary. So if it's from dictionary, you call it what? A lexical definition. If a definition is ostensive, that means that you are kind of demonstrating it. So let's say you are demonstrating, or maybe you are pointing at something. So pointing or demonstrating. If I say red, how can you define red for me? Obviously, you just look for somebody who is wearing a red top. Then you just point at it. So that is red. You see, so that one is what? An ostensive definition. You are pointing or you are demonstrating. If I say singing, how will you define singing? You have to what? You probably have to maybe sing some song or something for me to understand the meaning of what? Singing. Then we have operational definition. So as you can see, operational. So even that here, you are going to give me some steps or some procedure to follow. If I say palm nut soup, how will you define palm nut soup? So this one, the girls will take over. They will give you step by step explanation of what is called palm nut soup. If I say Gary Soakins, or with the boys, we take it sharp sharp. So you tell me that you take Gary, pour it in cup, add needle, add sugar, you add granite. Yeah, those of you like doing A1 Gary. Some of us we just take Gary and sugar and water. That's all. So that one is what an operational definition. You are going to give an account of the steps, step by step. Then we have what a stipulative definition. Stipulative definition. So over here, it's like a group of people have agreed upon what something. So it's a definition that is agreed upon. So you can a perfect example be your jargons. Yeah. So it's this one applies to a particular group of people. Let's say among boys, yeah, they have a way of, they have some jargons they use. You understand? Uh-huh. So you can't go and see your lecturer and say that, yo, Charlie, you understand? No, you can't do that. So here, stipulative definition. Specifically, we are talking about jargons here, something that is agreed among a particular group of what people. Then we have what a theoretical definition. Theoretical definition. So this one is from what theory. It's based on theory, like scientific theories. So we have hypothesis, then it becomes theory, and if that theory is there for a very long time before it becomes a law. Yeah. So let's say you say force is what that which causes a body to stop or move. You can say that what this is from what a theory proposed by Isaac Newton. So theoretical definitions, most of them are from scientific based. So this is based on theory. Then we look at what the ideal definition, or you can call it the real definition, or you can also say what the essential definition. So this one covers the true meaning of the word. It is ideal, is essential. It is not contestable. You cannot debate on it. So you can say it is a closed class concept. So over here, the definiendum can replace all the definitions in every context of use. Now, some definitions are what? Contestable. Yes, you can debate on them because they are not essential, they are not ideal. So those ones we call them open class concepts. Open class concepts. Or you can say open textured concept. So something like beauty, justice, democracy. These words we can debate on them, pow. So their definitions are very very contestable. If I say beauty right now, how somebody describes his beauty is different from how me I'll describe my beauty. As the saying goes, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So beauty, when it comes to beauty, is different for us. Every individual, every society. You see, some of the guys they like fair ladies, some like dark ladies. So like beauty applies different to everybody. Something that is beautiful to me may be ugly to you. When it comes to justice and democracy, we can also relate. Something can happen, and then let's say a driver accidentally runs a red light and might get a warning, but another who does it recklessly and repeatedly might what get a fine or a license or suspension. So both respond to justice, but depending on what the context or the circumstance. So that is what open class concepts are about, or open textured concepts. They are very debatable or contestable. So they work in what? In terms of circumstance. Yeah. So over here, you are all going to express what different viewpoints. When I mention democracy, Some will say, oh, rule by the people. Some will say for the people, a whole lot of things. All right. So these are the types of definitions: lexical definition, ostensive, operational, stipulative, theoretical, and ideal definition. Now there are some problems associated with definitions. So what are they? So what are the problems? Problems related to definitions. Problems with definitions. So a definition can be too broad, can be too narrow. It can also be what? Secular, and it can be vague. So let's take them one by one. A definition can be too narrow. If a definition is too narrow, what does it imply? It means that what? The definitions do not cover what? All things the word what? Denotes. So it means that what? Definitions are not enough to denote the word. So the definitions are not enough to denote the word. When I'm done, I'll give examples for this one so that we digest it very well. Then we can say definition is can be what? Very broad. It can be too broad. So over here, the definitions are even covering things which do not even belong to what? The denotation. So here the definitions cover things which do not belong to the denotation. So in this sense, maybe what you are denoting applies to other things. It can denote other things as well. So we say that it is what? Too broad. Then a definition can also be secular. So if it is secular, it means that the definitions are going to repeat what? The definiendum. So it's kind of, you are creating what? Tautology. Here you are creating tautology. So another word for secular is tautology. Or we can call it begging the question. Begging the question. So don't forget this one, begging the question. You will see it in it will feature in your IA. Everything we are doing will feature in your IA, so take everything serious. Yeah. Then a definition can also be vague. This is the last one. Then we take the examples and we'll see some of them can what? Have a combination of this. Yeah. A particular definition can be too narrow and be secular at the same time. So let's look at vague. If it's vague, what does it mean? If it's vague, it means that the definition is not clear or precise. So it's very, very difficult to know what it denotes. So now I'll give what some examples, then we'll see whether that definition is narrow, broad, secular, or vague. So let's look at this example. Development is to develop the nation. So what can we see here? We can see that what? If you look at this definition, we can see two parts. We can see that definite development is to develop the nation. This is what our definiendum. Then to develop the nation be what? Our definitions. So if you look at the definitions, you can still see develop over there. So the definitions and the definiendum, you can see the repetition, right? So here, what do we call it? We call it what? If we can see the repetition in definition and definiendum, we are going to call it what? Begging the question. So the definitions are repeating what? The definiendum. So we can see that what problem is arising from this definition. This will obviously be what? Secular. So we say what? Secular definition. We can also say that this is vague because it's not clear. This is very, very not clear. How can you say development is to develop the nation? How are we developing the nation? How? Are we developing the nation economically, socially, or politically? Like how? What are we going to do? So this definition is what? Both secular and what? Vague. Then the second one, a dragon is a prehistoric creature. So if you are telling me a dragon is a prehistoric creature, is it only a dragon which can be a prehistoric creature. What about the dinosaurs? So this one is too broad. So it doesn't only apply to what dragon, but it applies to what other creatures. So you can see that what this definition is broad. Hope you are getting it. Then we look at the third example. The meaning of evil is murder. Um, is it only murder that can mean evil? I don't think so. So this definition is too narrow because evil consists of what includes many things. Cruelty can be evil, injustice can be evil, oppression can be evil. So this definition is what too narrow. We said that if a definition is narrow, the definitions do not cover all the things that was the word denotes. So this one is too narrow. Because other things can be considered what evil. It's not only murder. Notice the difference